Kapow! Hello and welcome to Stanchion Snacks. A bit of a mouthful. Now, I am pouring myself a glass of Coke. And no, I haven't just seen the Christmas advert.
Holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming.
First time and got myself very excited. Delicious, need some rum or something. That is because we are, of course, back here after the international break, after 2 wins on the bounce with a trip to Charlton Athletic. Now, when I was looking at the list of players that played for both Southampton and Charlton, one man popped up, partly because of some of the great goals he scored, partly because he's from a football dynasty, but mainly because he is known as the Coca-Cola Kid. One of the most interesting transfer stories ever to come out of Southampton, really. And that is, of course, Bradley Wright-Phillips. If you're watching this channel just because you love food and you don't really know much about football, Bradley Wright-Phillips is the son of Ian Wright, who's a very famous footballer and now pundit, and generally just a good guy.
Hello, Ian. Long time no see.
Mr. Pigden.
Going back to 2005, the Football League, so not the Premier League, the next 3 leagues down, were sponsored by Coca-Cola, and this is when they became known as the Championship, League 1 and League 2. To make things interesting, Coca-Cola decided they would run a competition where a team or a fan could basically buy a player. So every time you bought yourself a can of Coke, you had a code that you would then upload to the internet with your beloved team name, and at the end of the season, one name was drawn out of a hat, and that person would win £250,000 for their team to spend on a player. So this happened first of all in 2005 when a little team at the time, Brighton and Hove Albion, won. Colin Kazame Richards was purchased and became known as the first ever Coca-Cola Kid. Now, the competition was run again the following season in 2006. Southampton won, and we decided to buy Bradley Wright-Phillips. So Bradley Wright-Phillips, the Coca-Cola Kid. This episode is all about you. Bradley went on to become one of the most successful players in the MLS after leaving us and then Charlton. So I decided to do something a little bit American, and of course it does involve champagne Americano, Coca-Cola. So today we are going to be making chicken wings with a Coca-Cola glaze. So let's start by prepping the wings. The wings, this is a whole wing. Obviously it's okay to buy them like this from your butcher, but don't trust anyone that serves your wings like this. They're very, very easy to prep. We're not actually cutting through, you have to understand that you're not cutting through bone, you're going through the cartilage. So just sort of around there, see that? Straight through there, not really through any bone, but straight through. So that gives us now 1 and 2 wings. Again, this bit you don't really need. I usually like to sort of just trim that bit off as well. So now we have 1 and 2 nice wings. There's no meat on that whatsoever, but we will put that in the broth. It's all flavour. So once more, starting through there, and then right through the middle, just there. There's one, and there's another lovely little wing. So for the broth, some aromat. So this is lemongrass, using the back of the knife. Let some of that out. If it doesn't stick in your pan, yes, you can chop it in half. And then just a few slices of ginger. Garlic, just crush it. And then anything else that you've got lying around that you would put in stock. So I just had a bit of carrot, so just a few pieces like that. A few little bits of tomato that I just had knocking about. And then whack it all into a pan. You haven't got to layer up your wings as neatly as I am here, but you know, I'm a little bit of a ponce really. And then just pour on some boiling water and let that boil up and just simmer gently for about sort of 8 to 10 minutes. Just going to let them cool down now fully before continuing with them. And I'm just going to place that little piece of paper on the top there. We do want them to kind of dry out a little bit, but we want them to go completely cold. And whilst we're doing that, let's get the glaze on, and we'll also make a dip. First things first, the Coca-Cola Glaze. We're basically just going to reduce some Coke down with a few of those aromatic flavours that we had before. Well, the rest of this Coke, I think we probably want a whole can of Coke here, actually. I only buy Coke in cans. I knew I would use quite a lot in this episode, but I still couldn't bring myself to buy a plastic bottle. So that is about a can of Coke. The rest I will drink because I'm very much enjoying it. And hey, it's nice for me to have a day off the beer. I'm being healthy today and drinking Coke. I also only drink full fat Coke. So a bit of ginger, you know, again, just cut a few little pieces like that. Straight in. A whack of garlic. So it's quite nice to have similar flavours used in both. I have tasted a bit of the wings. I picked a little bit off, and it does taste really nice. It's got that sort of aromatic, slightly sort of Asian-y vibe about it. So we're just going to boil the arse off that for a second. Cheers. So blue cheese dip. Get yourself a nice blue cheese. I've been down to Marks and Spencer's, my good friend, hello there. And I've got myself this sexy bastard, look at him. So it's from Colston Bassett, which make a really, really good Stilton, but it's a bit softer. So it's almost like sort of gorgonzola-y. If you really, really don't like blue cheese, maybe try, well, if you only really like very, very mild, subtle cheeses, you could do this with a nice brie. Maybe then try it with a slightly older brie, a more mature brie. Then maybe try it with a taleggio, which is a beautiful Italian cheese. That would make a lovely sauce. It does have a slightly sort of aged flavour to it, even though it's not blue. But if you've really got a problem with blue cheese, taleggio or a brie, you could do this exactly same thing with, really. And I'm just going to put everything apart from the rind. I'm just going to add a splash of milk. I'm going to put that on a very low heat at the back here. The milk's just kind of started to come up to the boil a little bit. So I've just pulled it off because we don't want it to split. We don't want it to boil. But if you just continue to stir this off the heat now, it will thicken up a little bit and we'll just get this lovely, beautiful, melty blue cheese sauce. All that we've got left to do now is to coat the wings. So we're going to coat these in flour. I've got is sweet potato flour. I've got a little list here of other types of flour you can use, but I just basically went down to my local Asian shop and had a little walk around and saw what I could find that was kind of like sort of cornstarch or something like that. But this seems similar because it's sweet potato, so I thought that's cool. So I've just put a little bit in a tub. It's always good to season your flour. A little bit of salt. We'll put a bit of cracked black pepper in there as well. That'll be nice. I'm going to put some smoked paprika. You can put anything in here you like, really. Any sort of spices you got knocking about. Put some curry in if you want. Turmeric will be nice for colour. We're just going to take these wings one at a time. And obviously they're still a little bit wet, and we're just going to give them a nice little coat in this flour, like that. Job done. I'm feeling confident about this one, guys. Feeling like I'm going to do Bradley Wright-Phillips proud. So, hey guys, share this one. If you know Bradley Wright-Phillips, send it to him. I'm pretty sure Bradley Wright-Phillips will... Aha, look, oh, we're getting close to sort of syrupy there with our Coke. You've got to keep an eye on that. That is very close. That's almost probably would do the job. Job done. Chicken wings, ready for war. Oil is on. It's more than hot enough. If you don't have a thermometer, you can always test it with a bit of bread. Now, obviously the temperature of this oil is going to drop dramatically once we put our wings in. But you can see how that's gone golden brown straight away. And if they all fit in together, which I think they will, we can then go ahead and drop these in. So we've got all 12 in at once. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty lovely and golden brown there. So please do be careful if you're doing this at home. So look, straight out of there, we'll just let them have a little bit of a sort of drip off, and then straight into this lovely glaze. And then we just want to coat these all in this glaze. Let it come back up to temperature. So the blue cheese dip, I've just put that back onto the heat just for a second. And we've kind of got sort of mayonnaise-y consistency. That's kind of what you want. Maybe just a little hit of my good friend, Mr. Chive. And now imagine that coming to your table. So here we are, it's tasting time for my beautiful, sticky Coca-Cola wings for Bradley Wright-Phillips. So let's try this one first. Oh my days, it's so tender, it's sticky, it kind of coats your mouth a little bit, but it's really stuck on there. It's almost like a caramel. It's not overly sweet. Probably one of the best wings I've ever had. I thought I would struggle to eat all 12 of these, but I think I'm probably going to manage to do it. I won't need anything else. Now let's try one in this beautiful blue cheese dip. The sort of slight bitterness of the blue cheese adds a real nice sort of complexity. It's a little bit of a fight with the sweetness of the glaze. I don't think that's too much work, is it? Give that one a go, guys. You know what I need with it? Look at that. My Coca-Cola sticky wings. Please like and subscribe, guys. And good luck to the boys at Charlton.